Guys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Kuruma Armored and the Paragon R Armored. So these two cars at face value are quite similar. They are both four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. They are both armored and they're both a sports car. So they have a lot of similarities, but they also have some big differences. And we're going to be covering those today in this video, so sit back and enjoy. Starting off today's video, we're going to be looking at the Kuruma Armored. So we're going to hop inside this thing. We're going to take it for a little test drive. I'm going to give you guys my honest review on the car, and we'll see how it goes. So this thing is maxed out, fully upgraded, engine, everything, all that, all done. It is pretty fast. It feels pretty fast, especially for an armored vehicle. It's definitely faster than the Insurgent, and it is definitely also faster than the Night Shark. However, it doesn't handle very well. That's something that I've always had a problem with this car. Every time you go around a corner, the back end feels so heavy and it wants to drag out on you. And it's not a manageable stepping out, I like to call it. When the back end slides out on this car, it can be a real pain in the ass to try to get it back into line, which is why I have a problem with it. It's a good car. It has its uses in GTA, not as much in 2021 as it used to. I'm sure most of you guys have seen my video on the Kuruma from earlier in the week, and you've seen how weak it is. So that is a big disadvantage that this car has. It's also slow, and the handling has not kept up over the years. And it's just, it just feels dated, really. When you're going fast enough and go around a corner, it can hold its own. The tail end doesn't always step out, but when the tail end does step out in a situation where you really don't want it to, it can be quite catastrophic and it can get you killed. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it sucks. As you guys can see right there, the car just completely spun out on me, and again, when I try to get it back. Obviously, if you use this car all the time, you can probably work around some of these things or get a little bit more used to it, and it will become less of a problem for you. However, for a person like me who doesn't drive this car very often, it is a bit of an issue. I have been driving this car this week because I've been deciding if I want to keep it or if I want to get rid of it, and I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards getting rid of it. So let's move on. Let's talk about the Paragon R for a minute. So the Armored Karuma also has a trade price on the car. So if you have not completed the Fleeca job, the first heist in the original heists that came out in GTA Online, the car costs $698,000. So basically $700,000. If you have completed that mission, it will reduce the cost to only $525,000. Which I would say, if you're trying to get this thing and you're a new player, you're a low level, I would recommend doing the Fleeca job. Just to get that little bit of a discount. I think it would help you out quite a bit, actually. So now it's time to talk about the Armored Paragon R. This thing is available to be won, basically, on the podium in the casino, or by completing the casino missions inside the Diamond Casino. In the management section, there are 6 missions that you have to do, and at the end of them, Agatha Baker will call you and give you this car as a reward for completing the missions. It will spawn at the dock in this location right here when you have completed all 6 missions. So the car is only really available to be had for free. All it is going to take is your time to get it. And for free, it is a very, very good car. We're going to hop inside this and do a review similar to how we did the Kuruma. So off the bat, I can tell you this car is much faster in a straight line than the Kuruma. There is almost no comparison. This thing would probably destroy the Kuruma in a drag race. And if you're trying to get somewhere fast, this car will obviously get you there faster than the Armored Karuma. Another point with this thing is the handling of it is actually quite a bit better. Significantly better than the Armored Karumas. As you can see, I'm sure you remember, I was spinning out the back end of the car in the Armored Karuma all around this section, and I was going a lot slower. This thing handles like perfectly. It is awesome. Again, both cars are all-wheel drive. This one does feel a lot lighter than the Armored Karuma though. And I'm not trying to be unfair to the Armored Karuma. It is an older vehicle. It is not really supposed to be up to date with the new cars and with the new vehicles that we have in this game anymore. And you can tell when you drive this thing that it just isn't. Keep in mind that this car you get for pretty much free, and the Armored Karuma is between $500,000 and $700,000 to buy. So when you look at that, it's like, well, you could do 6 missions, get paid for all of them, and then get this for free as a reward at the end of them, as long as I do them as the host, you know, or I could spend up to $700,000 and get the Kuruma. The advantages that the Kuruma has over this thing is it is a 4-door, so you can sit 2 more of your friends in it. This thing is only a 2-door, of course. The other advantage that the Kuruma has, and it's the advantage that everyone says the Kuruma has, is that the windows are bulletproof, which is almost true. They're almost 100% bulletproof, but they actually aren't. I have to say though, they are a lot more bulletproof than this car's windows. This is basically a fish tank. If somebody's trying to kill you and shoot you with a machine gun or a sniper rifle, they will definitely get you in this thing a lot faster than they would get you in the Kuruma. Anyways, we're going to move on to an armor test between the two cars with the RPG and the homing launcher. So let's get right into that. Alright guys, so we have the Paragon R Armored here. As you can see, it has the side paneling on it. We're going to be doing a armor test right now with the RPG. I'm going to be shooting this thing directly in the front. We're going to see if it can survive one shot. If it can, we're going to see how many it can survive. So let's get this started right now. One shot. Boom. Okay, so it can survive one shot, as you can see. Car is not even actually smoking yet, so that's pretty good. Let's give it a second shot here and see how it does. Okay. So, as you guys can see, 2 shots is this thing's limit. Now, let's take out the Armored Karuma and see how many it can survive. Alright guys, now I have the Armored Karuma. Aaron is inside both of these vehicles, just so you guys know. So this is the amount of armor they will have when a player is inside. Now let's shoot the Armored Karuma with this RPG and see how it does. One shot, okay. Let's move on to the homing launcher. Okay guys, and now we're doing the homing launcher test. So I have Aaron in the car again, as you can see. And let's test this out. One shot it again. That is a little bit disappointing. Okay guys, now we're going to test the homing launcher on the Paragon R Armored. Okay, can survive one shot. Let's see about 2. Okay, so it has the same health with the homing launcher as it does with the RPG. Paragon R beats the Kuruma by 1 RPG or 1 homing rocket. We didn't obviously test the bullet resistance of a driver in the cars, because we all know which one is going to win. The Kuruma's got that window plating that is very hard to kill a person through, and this thing, as you can see, has almost nothing. The windows actually are bulletproof on this, but they're not as bulletproof as the Kuruma's, which are infinitely bulletproof. But as you guys can see, these windows are a bit bulletproof, but not nearly as much as the Armored Karuma's. They are quite good though, to be honest. Anyway guys, if you had to pick one of these cars, I would recommend 9 out of 10 times to get the Armored Paragon R, simply because you can get it pretty much for free. You can actually get paid to get this thing, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. It has better armor, has better handling, better performance, better acceleration, better top speed. You name it, it's pretty much better on this thing, except for bullet resistance and seat capacity. So if I had to have one, I would definitely recommend getting this thing. I also didn't mention this thing also has machine guns on the front of it, which you can fire. They're not very good, but they are machine guns and they are there nonetheless. So guys, I think that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, leave a like down below. If not, dislike. Talk to me in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.